teaching children. They teach you to learn. Everything I know, children taught me.
Il professor Gordon ha dedicato, devo dire, la sua intera vita a cercare di capire come apprendiamo la musica e come impariamo la musica, come il bambino sviluppa la sua attitudine musicale a partire dall'età neonatale. In 40 anni ha svolto ricerche, studi, osservazioni scientifiche, ha pubblicato numerosissimi testi. Quello che mi ha convinto immediatamente del suo approccio è stato il fatto di non portare al bambino una musica in versione bambinizzata, semplificata, ma invece di fare in modo che noi musicisti, noi insegnanti, portassimo al bambino il nostro talento musicale.
When I was 13 years old, my mother died. As a young boy, I was beginning to get into trouble around city, doing things I shouldn't do with friends. I started knowing wrong persons. And so my father, to keep me out of trouble, said, "Why don't you think about music?" And I said, okay. He said, "Would you like to play an instrument?" And I said, "Yeah, that big thing," because I had been to New York to the Metropolitan Opera. And I remember just being attracted to the sound of these basses, but I didn't know what they were. Well, my father knew what it was, and he bought me a bass. So as soon as I went into the Army, I was put into an Army band. And it was a USO band. And I was a very young boy, and many of the musicians were coming back from the Glenn Miller band and so forth. And we were all put together, and I learned a lot from them. While I was going to conservatory, I ran out of money. So I went to New York and started looking for signs for musicians wanted. And I saw a sign, and well, I remember going up 4 flights of stairs with my bass on my back. And I sat in a room, and somebody said, "Come in," and I went in, and there was a drummer and a pianist. And he said, "What do you want to play?" I said, "Whatever you want to play." So we played some tunes, and the drummer said, "Wait here." And he walked out, and pretty soon another drummer came in about this high, and he sat down and started to play, and played 4 or 5 tunes, and he said, "How much do you want?" And I said, "For what?" And he said, "To go on the road." I said, "Where?" He said, "All around the United States." I said, "With who?" He said, "With me." And I said, "Well, who are you?" He said, "I'm Gene Krupa." I learned more from him in 2 years than I ever learned in school. He would always dance in imagination. He was always, do you know the word audiation? Audiation is to music what thought is to language. This is all going on in the head, and that's what they meant. That good musicians are always hearing music that isn't physically present. Mm-hmm. And then it goes to your fingers. So I decided to get interested in research to see if I could understand what that process was or is, so that if I understood it, I could help teachers teach students to acquire it. Well, I started doing research with adults, and I found out that they had all kinds of blocks and they would not allow themselves to be revealed. So then I went to university students. Mm-hmm. Well, they were very sophisticated and very protective. They didn't want anyone to know their limitations. Then I went into high school and I kept realizing that if I wanted the true story, I had to go to children who are honest and open and have nothing to fear and nothing to hide. So I didn't start teaching children because I wanted to, it's because I had to. But once I started, I enjoyed it so much that I realized that's where the most fun is teaching young children. I figured if I could work with children, as soon as they're born, I watch them and observe them and document, and then I could watch their progress and begin to understand how they begin to learn.
Educazione, nel senso originario del termine, uno non finisce mai di dirlo, vuol dire trarre fuori. Se si vuol dire educere, proprio dal latino, no? Trarre fuori, vuol dire che l'altro è pieno, che l'altro ha delle ricchezze sue, ha delle potenzialità, delle capacità che se mette a frutto chissà che frutti daranno dopo, no? Ecco.
There is a normal distribution of aptitude. By aptitude I mean potential to achieve. Potential is innate, it's inborn, but it's not hereditary.
E la musica è un dono divino, ma un dono che bisogna meritarselo, anche spesso con molto, anche con una certa fatica, ma quello del professor Gordon è di questo di eliminare la fatica, almeno in partenza.
Non si deve incominciare con i bambini a insegnare il solfeggio, e il solfeggio è uno strumento di tortura se non è fatto bene. Sarebbe come se io volessi insegnare a un bambino a parlare e la prima cosa che gli insegno è il soggetto predicato per il complemento. Quello si può fare quando il bambino ha una certa maturità. Come si fa a insegnare a parlare al bambino? Si insegna come gioco, e la musica deve essere lo stesso. Si insegna una breve frase musicale che lui deve ripetere e che deve divertirsi a farlo, perché si sente realizzato nel momento in cui la fa, e questo deve essere l'apprendimento.
See, the wonderful thing is that what I'm saying is not new. It's been around for hundreds of years. There was a time when everything was audiation and no notation. Then Gutenberg came with the printing press, and pretty soon we got notation, and pretty soon we forgot audiation and emphasized notation. We're trying to bring it back. So what I'm saying is not revolutionary, it's just evolutionary.
Questa è un'idea un po' bizzarra che viene dalla tradizione classica, no? La sonata di Mozart è questa, la sonata di Mozart non è questa, ma è questa qua, insomma, naturalmente non so più. È questa qui, non è quella scritta lì.
In music learning theory, it's sound before sign, practice before theory. Just turn the whole thing around.
Nel 1998 ricordo che alla fine del primo corso che feci con lui alla South Carolina University mi disse, guardandomi negli occhi: Andrea, ricordati, non devi insegnare musica ai tuoi allievi, ma devi essere musica per loro. Da lui ho imparato tantissimo, anche quando stava in silenzio. Era curioso come un bambino, sempre a farsi e a fare domande. Nel 2000 mi suggerì di fondare l'AIGAM e poi mi ha sempre sostenuto nel dare forma a questo progetto che ha fatto davvero tantissima strada.
What Andrea is doing and what I'm doing and what they're doing in music learning theory all over the world is saying, look, we're trying to give children the preparation for when they become adults, that they will be intelligent listeners to music.
What advice would you give then to future teachers or practicers of MLT?
Well, I would ask them to please develop their musicianship to the highest level possible. I would say continue to be a musician, as Andrea is doing. He keeps playing. I kept playing as long as I could. I would like them to understand what I've created but for them to improve on it. So many persons think that because somebody says something, that's the final word and it's reached perfection. The fact is, I say about a lot of my predecessors, they were great pioneers, and I'm going to improve it. And the greatest compliment to me would be for somebody to say, oh, Gordon, he was a great pioneer, but we've made improvements.
You know, a method from the Latin path. You follow a path. Well, once you stop thinking, there's no hope. Music learning theory goes on and on and on. I keep doing research, I keep learning. By the way, I keep changing my mind. Persons write articles about me and say, Gordon, how can you understand anything he says? Every time he writes something, it's different. Of course, I'm alive, I'm learning.